Hi, my name is Melanie Kirin. I am the Marketing Entrepreneurship Career Technical Teacher at Bedford High School, which is a Cleveland Outer Rim district. The class that I am focused on in this final deliverable is Strategic Entrepreneurship, which is a dual credit course. Students earn 3 college credits at a local community college, and it is a part of their Marketing Entrepreneurship CTE program. So without further ado, I'm going to walk through some information with you. And all of the information that I'm sharing with you has been uploaded to my project as well. Okay, here I am. All right. So let's go ahead and drive this. So again, this is the project-based learning STEM business plan final deliverable. The agenda for this presentation is per the requirements. Hopefully I got these right. First, we're going to review my course goals, then demonstrate the artifact, which really is more of the implementation plan. But I do want to speak to several things in the artifact as well. The implementation plan, which hopefully is going to be a great tool for me moving forward. A reflection on what I've been able to do to date, and then proposed changes based on what I've done per date. And then lastly, goal alignment, how this project and this deliverable is aligned with my personal and professional goals, as well as the Danielson model. My stated goal at the beginning of this course was to develop a reusable project-based learning strategy, including milestone management, to help ensure all students can be successful in the PBL environment this school year. I will know success from this process when the PBL strategy can be applied, replicated, and help increase student retention and satisfaction. So let's talk about where I'm in this process. I have done pieces and parts of this bio plan, the STEM plan in the past. However, I've never really treated it like a project-based learning project. And so I've made significant modifications through the last 6 months to move it where it needs to go. However, I definitely have some significant areas that I'm still working on. Student retention and satisfaction, it's a hard class. So I'm working on building in some different strategies there to help increase student engagement, make it just a little bit more fun, and things of that nature. I think it's fun, but you gotta get the kids on board. And then also to help with student success, I've had some really decent success in that particular area, but want to see some growth in that as well. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. These were my areas of focus. Clearly I have a better understanding now of just how adolescents' brains work and develop, and how they can actually benefit from PBL. And so that's been very exciting. I have transitioned my classroom. I've always kind of had a relaxed classroom, but now it's definitely focused like the office, and I have some pictures I can show you. I encourage curiosity. PBL should do this, and I think that students are really seeing themselves as an entrepreneur and asking some super great questions, creating, impacting, driving questions. This has been, I think, the most radical change that I have adopted from this course. And I'm now creating driving questions for all of my classes, which I teach marketing applications, strategic entrepreneurship, international business, and digital marketing. And so they now all have driving questions, and it's up there on the board every day. And the kids are starting to make their own driving questions, which is super great. And then consciously generating emotional supportive learning environment that sparks curiosity, allows failure, and promotes holistic problem solving. I am very big into looking at the whole child, developing their technical acumen, of course, their academic acumen, but ultimately my job is to create future professionals. So I'm looking at that professional soft skill development as well. The artifact demonstration, I'm not going to read the principles per time, but in terms of compelling topics, students will choose their own STEM-based solution that solves a real pain. And we'll look at that driving question in a second. Their final comprehensive project is a 12-page minimum STEM-based business plan that includes like all their financials for 3 years, all their market research, primary and secondary research. It's a huge deal. Students take on the role of being an entrepreneur, a marketer, a finance professional, and researcher. My goal is when my numbers get up a little bit to have students move from taking on all those roles at different periods of time, then having them take on specific roles as they work in groups. We just can't do that with a small number of kids I've got in that class right now. I've created an online library with resources, and I'm excited to say that the students now have new mentor resources. So my students are actually working with student mentors from Cleveland State University that are STEM majors, engineering, mathematics, things of that nature. And we are continuing to work with our partners at Believe in Ohio, which provides entrepreneurial resources. And my implementation plan is currently set by quarters, which allows me some flexibility in kind of how the students are progressing and that differentiation. So I plan on still doing that. And then the culminating for the big event, students participate in a Shark Tank pitch contest, which we are actually supposed to roll out on April 26th, including both of the mayors of our community, several entrepreneurs, some friends from industry, CEOs, and things of that nature. So, and parents, and then the mentors will be there. So looking forward to that great event. The picture that you see is from a previous year's Shark Tank. So we've done this model before, but again, it was not a project-based learning unit. It was just kind of a project. So clicked here, you can see what the final deliverable is going to look like from a student's perspective. Okay, so you have a 12-page business plan. This is the most exciting one to look at, but you can see other financials and data that's built into that. And I've got several examples of that. What the students are working on throughout the entire school year. Really, we get into this in Q1. This is the template they work on, and we build upon it the entire school year. So you can see the STEM concept that they have to evaluate or create, pain points, propose solutions, target markets, competition. These are all elements of their feasibility study. What a final example the event would look like. This is from a few years ago, pre-COVID. And so you can see this was the culminating event. And so you can take a look at that. The rubric, in years past, I kind of gave this to kids right when their plan was done. Not anymore. They get this on day one, or maybe not day one, but very beginning. So they can see like what my expectations are and how they're going to be worked. And the students are able to go back and make revisions throughout this entire process. But they have that rubric. And then we have the rubric for the actual Shark Tank event as well. So these components together with the implementation plan really make up my final project. And so let's go ahead and take a look at the implementation plan. It has become a pseudo course of studies almost. What my next step will be in this process is to go back and add each one of the state curriculum standards for each one of these pieces and parts of the implementation plan. As I was working through this project, it just really made sense for this to look like this. So the main driving question of the entire school year is to develop a STEM product or service that will significantly improve your life or the lives of others that you know. And so you see the personal connection, and then you also see the creation component. This has to be something new. It's not something that's already on the market, and they have to go through the whole justification process and then actually create a business plan. The reason why I include the STEM component is for two reasons. Number one, I want it to be cross-curricular capable. I've reached out to our science departments and they're kind of getting interested, but whatever, I moved on, and that's why I have this Cleveland State engineering students supporting us, and they are learning about science, technology, engineering, and mathematics while they are building out this plan. The other part is this amazing partner that I found. It's called Believe in Ohio through the Academy of Science, and they underwrite all the financial rewards that my students earn when they participate at Shark Tank. So my students can earn a state winner can earn that $11,000 scholarship. Locally, we'll get, depending on the number of students, I may have anywhere from $500 to $1,000 to give up at Shark Tank. And they are now that extra mentor, and then provide a significant amount of amazing resources. So, any business teachers, they are amazing. So you can see through this plan that I have driving questions that I use throughout the year. So on the left-hand side, you'll see the time period, then you'll see the sub-driving questions, the how and why, the student outcomes, the support measurements. I try to be as inclusive as possible, and then the evaluation tools. So right in the beginning, we talk about why be an entrepreneur? Like, they have to buy into this right in the beginning. But here's a little mini PBL unit, right? So they will actually, at the end of this little mini unit, they're actually presenting on a real live entrepreneur, how that entrepreneur impacts society, their local community, the larger society as a whole. That can be somebody that they know. It can be somebody that, they admire. It can be anybody there. And they actually give a presentation. But students need to understand the significant role that entrepreneurs play, right, in this conversation. Second, and I'm not going to read all of these because I don't have time, but question, we move then, still in Q1, on the mini driving question is, what's your pain? Or what pains you, your community, and your world? And so now we're starting the exploration into, okay, what could potentially be this thing that I end up building out? So students do a little simple journal. I'll click on that link for you, where they, over a long period of time, really just figure out what's paining them, paining their family, paining their friends. And then they start understanding, oh, there's a target market here, right? How is this STEM related? And you'll have your athletes like, well, I can't, after a big race, I'm really tired. Okay, so how do you recover? And so they go through that process. There we go. So that gives them that time to really explore and start laying the foundation. We do then move on to ideas like, what is innovation, right? It's not what most people think. And so that they can understand that, yes, they can be innovators. How do we solve problems? We spend a significant time on design thinking, which in itself is project-based learning. And so the students then design a new sport. I've got a whole web quest they do. They learn on their own, right? But then they come together and they design a new sport, which is a lot of fun. So now we get into Q1. They're actually building out their business plan. They're starting to build already. And the question is there a market for my idea? Well, you don't know that until you do primary and secondary research, which is a critical global competency skill to be able to research. And one of the things that moving forward, I'm going to do a lot more of, is have students develop what they call their core research group. This is a group of people who provide external input through this process and throughout the whole year at that point. And these individuals are required to be a part of their target market. So they have to be a part of their community. So adding that extra layer of accountability, hopefully that will just really excite the kids to understand they're solving somebody's real problem. And then also just have that, hey, that check and the balance. Yeah, I think this is a good idea, but what is the target market? So I'm going to have to fly through the rest of this, but you can see this document has a tremendous amount of resources that I've connected. And then I want to talk about two more things on my implementation plan. Am I ready to launch and win over the sharks? So at this point in time, The students have gone through revision and revision, revision. They've gotten mentorship from Cleveland State students. They've gotten mentorship from me. They've gotten mentorship from this research group. They've met mentorship from their Believe in Ohio mentor. And then they have to get ready to present, which again is that oral and written communication, is defending your ideas, critical skills for any future career. And throughout the entire program, this is something I just built for this class. The question is, what did I learn from the process, and do I still want to be an entrepreneur? I want these kids to evaluate that throughout the entire year. And so I've created this simple little bio student journal that they are going to be encouraged to do every mini unit, but can do it whenever they feel like it. So that is the implementation plan. So again, that really addresses a significant part of my final artifact. I want to add I want to link up those state standards, and I think there will be a pretty decent kind of course of study almost, or mini course of study. So anticipated challenges during implementation. So like I said, I've been doing this for a little bit of time now. The challenge I always have is that this is hard. So keeping the kids motivated, and then making sure that they realize, okay, you've messed up and you can go back and make revisions. But this does scaffold onto each other. So if they get too far in the hole, it is a challenge for them. But I'm hoping that Cleveland State mentor and the bio mentor and having those research group folks can also kind of pull them up and help them, because it is challenging to be that teacher that's got, okay, I got to help fix every plan in here. Strategies to address challenges and continue with implementation. So like I said, that I'm really working on having those support mechanisms that are there, making sure kids know they can do revisions, having that resource library, all of those things are there. As long as the kid is motivated, they should do outstanding. And measures to take concerning the needs of a specific audience. So what I think this plan really does is, because the students are solving a problem they have, or they know somebody in their community has, it really does speak to their needs. And then they have a group of people who are coming around side of them, really championing them. And at the end of this, the student's going to know how to do primary, secondary research. They're going to be able to write like a business professional. They're going to be able to communicate like a business professional. They're going to be confident in their abilities. They're going to be able to do financial documentation, which most adults don't know how to do. There's graphing and Excel work and survey development. There's a tremendous amount of skills, competitive matrix. And so tons of skills they're going to get. And all of those skills are going to be based on what they need. So I think I've spoken to a lot of this. But students will be given a significant amount of feedback and opportunities for revisions. We've got the journaling so that they can grow professionally and really have a growth mindset about the process. And then we have all the additional support systems, as well as those driving questions. Moving forward, students will develop that primary research group, and in the future of the rollout, will also include multiple community forums, which I have in my implementation plan. So the sharks that they're going to meet at the end won't be the first day that they're ever meeting them. They will meet them in weeks and months prior to Shark Tank. And so I'll have a business owner come in and talk about how they, work out their projecting loss or how they hire employees, so that the students can really learn from those professionals as opposed to listening to Mrs. Kirin all the time. Goal alignment. I think I've done it here. We've got the implementation schedule. I need to work on that a little bit. The module rubric, in terms of, students will have this, right at the get-go. Help ensure all students can be successful. I've got those mentors, the environment, replication. I can do this. I actually have a pseudo course of studies now. I can do this. Hopefully the students will be satisfied when they walk away, knowing they did their best and have a little money in their pockets. And in terms of the Danielson alignment, I think it meets all four of the qualities here. Definitely having that office environment, which again, I want to show you a picture of, but my students, when they come in, there's a couch, there's a coffee maker, there's a refrigerator. It's very relaxed. The tables are set up in working pods so that they can work from each other. When they're working on their costing information, if they find a price for like utilities for, in a particular city, they're asked to share that. We have a spreadsheet. Okay, tell me how much it costs to advertise on YouTube, so that they can actually share and collaborate with each other. Even though they're competing against each other, they're still sharing. So the specific knowledge I gained from this project, the creation of driving questions, outstanding. I have transitioned most of my learning courses or the classes I teach into PBL units. For example, in marketing applications, students were to create an edible food product that they could sell at the high school, which was outstanding. I gave them all the resources. They worked together in teams. And so then they presented their ideas. They did an awesome job. I actually brought in samples of food. It was fantastic. And so instead, and then what I did is I backfilled. Okay, they kind of missed some ideas on pricing. And so I taught them, did teacher instruction then. And now we've rolled in right into our next PBL unit, which is, okay, now you need to market this edible food product, and they're doing the same thing. It's outstanding. They really enjoy it. I've created the office environment, and I've overall, this experience has allowed me to work more one-on-one, which is differentiated support, which I need. I've got AP kids sitting right next to kids who are really cognitively challenged. I'm almost done. So looking ahead, I think it's important. One of the things that the course didn't really offer was, okay, what does this look like for CTE? These were two models that I found on my own that were really good. But I thought it was really important. Career technical education continues to be a hot topic. I think it's the model that many schools are moving towards, this academy model. And so I'm excited about that possibility. So I provided you here at the end kind of these two resources, which my slide won't advance. So there is one more in here, but it basically looks at the career technical, there it is, the career technical classroom and what can be done. And I just thought this was an outstanding kind of visual representation. And so this is kind of what I'm trying to do, this hands-on environment, and incorporating all the learning from an academic standpoint, a technical standpoint, and a professional development standpoint. So I appreciate the course. Thank you so much. And I've learned a whole lot, and I can't wait to roll this out again for next year.